Hi, we're the Talbott brothers.
And you're watching 101.9 KINK Radio in the Skype Live studio.
We got them. The Talbott brothers inside the Skype Live studio. Let me introduce these guys to you. This would be Nick on the right. And we got Tyler over here on the left. And as you can tell through the wonderful song you just heard and these smiles on these guys' faces, you guys are probably the meanest and most evilest guys to have to interview, right?
Yeah.
I'll be careful. Good. Well, the first words to that one, packing up and heading out west. Yep. Is that autobiographical?
Yeah, it is. So we're from Nebraska originally, which you knew that. Yeah. But Portland has been a big change for us, and it's been really good. We had a friend of ours, lived in Nebraska for a while, grew up in Portland, saw us maybe 3 years ago. Was
Longer.
it?
5 years ago.
5 years ago? Time flies. But he said you need to come out to Portland and try music here. It's just, in Nebraska, the style isn't like it is here. It doesn't fit. We don't fit in where we grew up a little bit. So.
Well, then what is the style?
I got a video on my phone. Do you want me to know?
My God, I'm thinking beautiful harmonies, well-written songs, and acoustic guitars. How can that not be a style that's not accepted everywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we tried to say,
That's
but
right.
I think that the style there is a little more. What do you want to say, bro? Be careful. We're talking about Nebraska.
Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with it. I think we just kind of grew up with doing a lot of cover songs and not doing a lot of original stuff. And out here, you see so much more of that. And the culture is, there's a lot more art culture out here.
And they're doing that there in Nebraska. We wanted to come here because it was happening, and in Nebraska, it's starting to happen.
Right. We kind of felt like we needed to get out of our own skin a little bit, somewhere where we could maybe search for some things. So.
Well, good. I'm glad your friend suggested Portland for sure.
Thank you, friend.
We got a couple more trees to play underneath, too.
Yeah.
A little bit more with the festivals. But that's another thing. It's not like you guys came out to Portland and just want to hang around playing coffee shops. I take a look at your itinerary. You're playing across the country. So good on you for at least bringing the music, maybe calling this home for a little while or home for now. Yeah. But your music, you're spreading it across. Now, it's hard for bands starting off to get those gigs across the country. How does that work for you? Did it happen through other tours that you did with other artists, or?
Yeah, humble beginnings. I think, one door leads to another door, and we've been grateful and fortunate to, find those opportunities. And, one thing leads to another, and it's been fun for us to, explore new landscapes and play new places, too. So it's a lot of work on our end, but we love it. So
our career so far in music, if you can call it a career, has been a series of people taking chances on us, really. So coming out to Portland, it was McMinimans. Took a chance with us. You all know what that is. They're all, don't you? Yeah. So they took a chance on us. We played a show with them at Edgefield, and since then, it's just been real good. I mean, that was a big part of coming out here, too. If we wouldn't have had that, then I don't know if we'd be here right now, but...
Yeah, we traveled all the way across the country, actually, and kind of set up a tour around that. Oktoberfest was the first time, so... It
was kind of funny because we didn't know that Oktoberfest or McMinimans even was a big deal, and we asked that friend. We were like, hey, they asked us if we want to do a show, should we do it? He was like, it's McMinimans. I mean, you'll play every day for the rest of your life if you want to.
Saying a name like that here is like saying Oregon Coast.
Right.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah,
I think I have. And so I got to learn about this, too. I hear your first van or your first bus, your touring bus, was a four-door Impala.
Oh, man. Yeah.
What year was it?
It's like an 01.
It was a good year, yeah. 2001.
Right. It's in the new millennium.
I mean, it fit. There's a big old trunk on those things.
Right,
so
there is.
we had, 3 guitars, mandolin. We actually had a piano in there, too, at the time. But it was just Nick and I. And I mean, we always show up at venues, and they're like, okay, so where are the other guys? Yeah. When we have too many things.
Wall of instruments.
Pulling stuff out of our pockets.
Yeah.
Who was the first one to pick up a stringed instrument?
I think I was. Kind of happened. I used to play football in high school, and I got injured, and during that downtime, I kind of got more serious about playing music, and I guess we just kind of... He's left-handed. I couldn't teach him how to play anything, so...
I wanted to play because he did, so... That's how it started.
Well, that works out all right, too. So you're playing for family at the very beginning, probably the very beginnings.
Yeah. Yep. Family, church, coffee shop, a lot of coffee shops. And then kind of more into like a bar scene, which was fun for a while. But we were ready to get out of that too, because you can play for 4 hours and your fingers fall off and you're ready. So.
And, well, that's only because you had all that coffee, too. Otherwise, you would have quit after 2, brother. Right, so they got a new album out. It's their 3rd, and it is called Gray. And I'm going to drop some lingo on here right here. This is industry lingo. Hey, when does the new album drop?
I love it. Yeah, it's perfect. It just came out last night. So at like midnight, we were getting off a plane. We played in Florida yesterday somehow, and we looked at our phones when we landed, and the album was available on iTunes at like 9 p.m. So we thought it was supposed to be midnight, and we were going to celebrate when we got home last night, but we just had a drink on the plane, and nobody knew, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be very cool. Yeah. Well, anything about the recording of this one made it a little bit different? I know your producer is in the audience tonight. How'd you get?
Where is he at?
Is that Justin? Where's Justin? Right?
He's in the back.
How'd you guys get hooked up with him?
Through a friend, actually. Paul, he was running sound for us at another show, and he introduced us, and we loved his work. Yeah, through McMinimans, of course. We loved his work, and a lot of what we do is really organic, and it has a sound that's kind of raw, and we felt like Justin was able to take that to the next level. And
we went to a few places when we first started tracking the album and tried them out, but we just kept coming back to Justin's recordings, and we hadn't even recorded with him yet, but the stuff he had shown us just impressed us so much, and we were ready to take a next step as far as what we record, and it just wasn't there yet. And I mean, we just play music, but when he recorded that album, it took a step, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna heap praise on that new album, because I see 15 to 20 CDs a week, and I have to go through so much drivel. And when you guys when it came to me, okay, cool, I'll check it out, especially when you say I'm from Oregon City. I want to check out local. I didn't know it was by way of Nebraska at the time, but that's all good. I was able to find a song for our Sunday morning acoustic show with Peggy, who's right over here. I was also able to find one for my blues show on Sunday night, and also for our local music spotlight. That's a trifecta that we just don't get with many other bands. So they are, good on you.
Thanks, man.
You know what I mean? I just don't know how to say it. I just don't find that many great songs that we can use in all those different little segments of the show for our station. So it's great to have you here in the Skype Live studio.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Excellent.
Thanks for having
guys,
us.
once again, new album's Gray. It is the Talbott Brothers.
Thanks, guys.